know his gospel, but do you know his story? This is the untold journey of Mark.
I was born in Cyrene, in the land of Pentapolis, where the sun burned hot against the white stones and the markets bustled with every tongue of the Mediterranean. My family was Jewish, of Levi's line, and though we loved our city, turmoil, unrest pressed us to leave. My parents carried me across the sea to Jerusalem. There, in the Holy City, my mother Mary's house became our new center. Her home stood wide enough for gatherings, and in later years, it became a place where disciples would meet, pray, and share bread together. I was still a boy when I first heard of Jesus of Nazareth. He was stirring the crowds, healing, teaching with authority unlike the scribes. Though I never walked at his side as closely as the 12, I often lingered at the edges of the crowd, listening, hungry to understand. Then came that dreadful night. When he was taken by soldiers, I was there. I was young, clothed only in a linen cloth. Fear gripped me when the mob seized him. And when they tried to grab me too, I tore free and fled into the darkness, naked, ashamed, my heart pounding with terror. That moment haunted me for years, for I knew then how frail my courage was, how quickly I abandoned him. I saw him die. From a distance hidden among the crowds, I looked upon the cross. My stomach knotted as the sky darkened, and the earth trembled. My master, bleeding, mocked, nailed like a criminal. My tears blurred the wood and the soldiers. But his face, oh, his face, remained clear. There was agony there, yes, but also a strange peace. He looked as if he bore not just the weight of his own body, but the sins of all. My heart broke. I wanted to scream, yet fear held me silent. Days later, hope breaking through sadness, when the women came crying that the tomb was empty. When Peter swore he had seen the Lord alive, hope like fire rushed through me, and when at last I beheld him risen, I felt shame vanish and joy take its place. My cowardice had not cast me out. His mercy drew me in. Then came the day on the Mount of Olives. I stood among the disciples, eyes fixed on him as he lifted his hands in blessing. The sky seemed to open, receiving him. My heart ached as he rose higher until the clouds swallowed him from sight. I felt loss, yes, but also awe. He was gone, yet nearer than ever. Not long after, in my mother's house, we gathered. The city was alive with the feast of Pentecost. Suddenly, excitement building. A sound roared from heaven, rushing like a mighty wind. Flames like tongues of fire rested upon each of us, and in that moment I felt a power I cannot describe. Strength that burned, yet comforted. Words pouring forth in languages I had never learned. I knew then the Spirit of God had come to dwell in us. Years later, Barnabas, my cousin, and Paul, the fiery preacher, set out on a mission. I went with them, eager, trembling. At first, I was filled with zeal, but the road was harsh, the opposition fierce. In Pamphylia, my courage failed. Weariness and fear overtook me, and I turned back to Jerusalem. My shame was bitter, worse than before. Paul was disappointed, angry. When we planned another journey, he refused to take me. His words cut deep. I feared I had lost my place among the servants of Christ. But Barnabas, he did not forsake me. He took me to Cyprus, encouraged me when my spirit drooped. Slowly, my confidence returned, and in time, even Paul called for me again, called me useful to his ministry. Reconciliation healed old wounds, and I learned failure is not the end. It is the soil from which perseverance grows. Later, I drew close to Peter. How often I sat at his feet, hearing him recount the words and deeds of the Lord. His voice trembled when he spoke of denying Jesus, and my own heart trembled with his. From him I learned humility. From him I learned Christ restores even the weakest. I became his interpreter, his companion, carrying his memories in my own heart. It was then I began to write. With reed in hand, I gathered Peter's recollections, my own memories, the stories alive among the brethren. I wrote swiftly, plainly, not dressing the truth in ornament, but laying it bare, that all might see Jesus as he was, mighty indeed, yet humble, Son of God, yet servant of all. As I wrote, a fire stirred in me again, the same spirit of Pentecost guiding my hand. I prayed that generations after me would read these words and know him, not as a distant figure, but as the living Christ. In time, my steps carried me to Alexandria, the great city of Egypt. Its streets rang with philosophy, its temples crowded with idols, its markets alive with tongues from every land. Here I preached Christ. Here I prayed for the wounded hand of a cobbler, a man named Anianis. It was healed, and he became my first convert and later my successor. With him and many others, I formed the church in that city, baptizing, teaching, gathering believers in homes. The work grew, and with it, opposition. Priests of the old gods seethed, philosophers mocked, crowds rioted, yet even amid threats I felt the same fire that once fell in Jerusalem. I ordained Anianis as bishop, set elders and deacons in place, and began the work of teaching, planting seeds of learning that would one day blossom into a school of wisdom. For I knew the gospel must not only be believed, but also understood, defended, proclaimed with reason. But the day came when their patience ended. During a festival to Serapis, they seized me. A rope was thrown around my neck. They dragged me through the streets. Stones tore my flesh. Dust filled my lungs. Blood darkened the path behind me. Pain seared me, yet I prayed. That night in prison, the Lord himself appeared. Soft, breathless reverence. His light filled the cell. Peace to you, Mark, my evangelist. My fear dissolved. My heart filled with joy. The next day, they dragged me again until my body could bear no more. At last, I yielded my spirit, commending it into his hands. My flesh was broken, but my soul soared. And though my body fell in Alexandria, the flame I carried did not die. It burned in the hearts of those who believed, spread into the deserts of Egypt, across Africa and beyond seas and empires. That flame was not mine, but his. And it still burned.